back to the channel, guys. So here's an update from the last video. I had a bunch of videos that I made, but I'm not even going to get into those and start editing those. So I'll just figure I'll just tell you what's going on. I had to change the AC blower box, one of those. I put one that I found on eBay because my other one, the blower didn't work on it and I had issues. So I found one on eBay, got it to work. So pretty much you got this main harness that comes out of here, and this brown wire right here, if you guys are wondering, when you test this brown wire, it has positive on it. That just got to get to a ground. Once you get that brown wire to a ground, your AC box starts working. Make sure you got all your vacuums hooked up, because that's what opens up the center vent here. There's a valve on this end of the box, and that's got to get hooked up in order for that thing to open. If not, you're just going to blow air on the sides. So that's what that is. I got my dash taken apart. I put in the magic box from S&P. So that's in here. So I got my RPMs working on that. I made this on a 3D printer. So if anybody wants one of these, let me know. Reach out to me on YouTube. I'll send you a link. I can make one of these for you for either side if you want to put a gauge in here on your thing. I even have a little hole back here. So if you want to put a hole, so this thing will still blow air through here and your gauge. All right, you just won't be able to shut it off, but you'll get air through it. If you want to put an additional gauge, like you get your 3 gauges and you need a gauge here. I was going to put an RPM gauge there, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do now. Maybe I'll put a clock or something. So I got to put the dashboard back together. I got to lift the dash up, get the knee bar in. But everything else in here is done. My shifter is done. I rebuilt that. So I was able to get into reverse. I just got to adjust everything in the transmission. So once you rebuild that, you lock this out. There's videos for it. Then you lock out the transmission, and then you adjust the linkage cables that are on there. The only issue that I was still having was with my brakes. So that's the only thing I got going on now. Everything else works. My horn works. I had to run a ground from here. So I had positive. I ran a ground. I found wear in the steering wheel harness on that side. There's 1, 2, 3 plugs. One on the top, one here, one on the bottom. The one over there had one missing, so when you press the horn, it throws out it does a negative. And then now my horn works. My wiper works. Let's see what else. So engine's all good. What I did here to get the engine running is I got an AEM fuel pump, and I got my fuel pressure gauge working. I've put a fuel pressure regulator on here so I can get this to 4 bars. So I now have it between 43 to 48 when it's running. Then when you unhook up the vacuum, it jumps up to 53, 58. So car's running great now on that. I had to change out my crank positioning sensor because that damage, and what symptoms I was getting for that is you turn the car on, the car will turn on, 30 seconds later, boom. Turn on the car, maybe it'll last for 45 seconds, then boom, it just shuts off. No, like, brrr, not like the gas thing. It was just shutting off. So then it would be hard to restart it. And that was the crank positioning sensor. So I replaced that. So motor's running great now. I don't have any issues with that. I have a small leak right here in my thermostat housing. So you got a sensor here, nothing in the middle. And then this one goes up to the radiator. Well, this little center one here is leaking. So what I did is I ordered another one of these sensors, and I'm just going to plug it in there. And then hopefully that stops the leak. If not, I got to get a whole new thermostat housing, because I have no idea why this thing continues to slowly leak a little bit of antifreeze. What I got left to do, I'm going to get the dash back together. But before I do that and get the knee bar in, which I'll show you how I'm going to do that, and I'll post a video how I'm going to do that, I got to replace, I keep having issues with my brakes. So they're not bleeding correctly. Every time I bleed them, there's not enough pressure, which means that my brake booster is not pushing enough pressure to the master cylinder to let all the air out. So there's an issue with the brake booster, either the pin inside or the pedal's too short. So I got a new brake booster. So I got to remove all of this, remove the master cylinder, remove the brake booster, put a new one in. Hopefully the pedal is long enough to bleed these correctly, and then hopefully I should be okay. If I got too much pressure in the back where the back brakes are locking up, then I'm going to go ahead and put in these proportioning valves for the rear brakes, so that less brake pressure goes to the back and towards the front. But before I do all that, I just got to make sure I address that. So what I'm going to be doing now is just removing all this, removing the master cylinder from here, and removing the brake booster. Once I get that out of the way, then I could go ahead and get back in here and just clean up the wiring that I left in here, and I could start undoing the knee bar, which I got to get the dash back into place. get the knee bar 100% up. I'm going to use 2x4s to get it up and pushed. I'm going to make little templates of the side of the knee bar so that this way what happens is when I have it in there, then I know where the knee bar is going to lay here. And as you can see, these were holes that we made before when I had the fenders on. But now that I have the fenders off, my holes should be somewhere here and here. And then I'm probably going to just fill these again. I'm going to weld these up and fill them and then caulk these so I don't get water in here. But that's pretty much what I'm going to do. I'm going to get 2 bolts in here, and then hopefully I could go ahead and shave some of this off and just tack weld the bolts. So then this way I could tighten it from the inside. And if I ever need to remove the knee bar, I don't have to remove my fenders. I'll just take the screws off and slide it off. So what I mean by that is the knee bar is right there. So you can see that right here, there's 2 slide bolts. So those are the ones I want to grab, is those 2 slide bolts. So I'm able to slide it in and tighten it up. And then hopefully the support from the upper part of the knee bar will hold the dash, you know, into place like that. You see where it's nice and tight. And that's what I need to do there to get the dashboard up. And then do the same thing on this side right here. Once I get that in place and I'm good to go, then I just got to just address the wheel alignment a bit so I could go take it in to get a wheel alignment. So hopefully by me, my last part right now is just getting this knee bar installed and getting the master cylinder and everything with my brakes 100% dialed in, because it's been a challenge for me. There's no real videos on brakes. Everybody talks about G60 brakes, but I want to run as a 23.5 momentum master cylinder. I got a brake booster that I bought from a friend of mine, but I don't know. I think there's something fishy about it. And I got a new one from rockauto.com. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Hopefully the shaft is long enough. If it's not, then I'm just going to make an adapter until I get it so where it pumps, you know, until I get it where it pumps correctly when I got enough fluid coming out. And then once I get that to work, then I'll go ahead and get the knee bar in. I don't want to, you know, change this and then my brakes don't work, then my knee bar is in the way, because it's just a lot easier. It's a lot easier to get to the knee bar. I mean, to get to, I had a flashlight here, of course. Okay. To get to the brake pedal without this knee bar being in the way. So you can see the brake pedal's there, and it's easier for me to get to the linkage right there. And it feels tight right now, but when you start the car and it gets vacuum, it just gets so weak. So I'm going to go ahead and address that, and hopefully I should be good to go. Then I could go ahead and zip tie these wires up right here. And then this is my switch for the AC. And you can see once I do that, it's pretty much cleaned up. This I just got to address because I got all my TDC shop stuff up here. But I'm going to bring it up here. That's the whole purpose of this piece, is that I could pull it out and I could get to my magic box or whatever. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I had this old RPM thing that I had in my old cluster, which I removed. And that's pretty much what I'm thinking. Maybe I'll run double, you know, just for now until I get something else to fit in here, you know. So that's what I'm going to do. All my other gauges are working down here, so it should be good to go. But you can see I turned the key on, and all my gauges work right there. And then here's my switch for my fan, and you can see they're working now. Boom. But don't forget to hook up your vacuums. There's a, you know, hook up all your vacuums for your AC. And then I have my other vacuum that's just sitting over there right here, which I got to hook up to. Here's the vacuum for the inside, which gets hooked up to the vacuum up here with a valve, with a check valve that I need to order in order for all that to work. So you can see the vacuum is hooked up in there, and then one return back out to here, and everything else is hooked up inside. So that's what I'm going to work on now. It's just to get this taken apart and that. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up this video right now with that. And my next video that I post should be me telling you that my brakes are good, and then showing you how I got the knee bar all supported up and how I'm going to make my holes. So that'll be the next one that I'm going to post as far as this video. Then the video next after that will just be us driving the car and making sure we're all good, getting a wheel alignment and shaking down the car. And then hopefully I'll be driving the vehicle and then waiting for my roll cage to come in, and that'll be another video. So that's kind of where I'm at. Trying to finish the car myself because I haven't been able to locate where my good friend is at, my mechanic. He just went missing. I'm hoping he's okay if he's watching the video. If anybody knows what happened to him, let me know in the comment below, because kind of worried Haven't heard from him, and it's not kind of like him, and I can't get a hold of him. But outside of that, I've got a lot accomplished on my own. And I've been troubleshooting a bunch of stuff, which is great. So it shouldn't be that long now. So I should be able to get this car on the road. So that's kind of where I'm at. If you leave any comments below, let me know what you guys think. If you ran into issues with your brakes or whatever, let me know. But that's kind of the troubleshooting that I've been doing lately. And I still got to adjust the coilovers and bring that up a little higher before I put the fenders on. All right, guys, that's the 10-minute video for this. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. That really helps the channel, so I could at least keep putting on content. I'm not making any money off of YouTube. Hopefully one day this channel will grow with more content that I put on this video. Thanks again, and talk to you guys soon.